Hi everyone! So, as you can see, my husband Josh is actually with me today. Usually I record videos on Mondays. I'm starting to get into a really good routine where pretty much every Monday I'm recording a video. But today he's home with me because it's President's Day, and I'm really excited because I like it when I get days home with my husband. It doesn't really happen that often. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and record a video anyway and kind of introduce you to him. So this is Josh, my husband, and he is the other part of SH Weddings. He is my assistant coordinator when we actually do weddings on wedding days, and then he also does a lot of my website work and IT work, pretty much anything that I don't really understand, which is a lot of basically everything else has nothing to do with weddings. So we thought maybe we would do like a fun video of like manly things today. Josh had a lot of things he wanted to incorporate on the wedding that had to do with mostly dudes, like cigars and like shaving and golfing and stuff. So you want to talk a little bit about what we did?
Sure, absolutely. So I figured I'd talk mainly about two parts. I'd break it up into two parts. The first part being what guys do the day of, or the day before a wedding. Some options, as well as ideas for you guys, for your grooms, in case they're looking for ideas. They're not really sure what they're supposed to do the day of the wedding when you're actually getting ready. So, for example, for our wedding, we had a couple of different things. One was why are you laughing? You're going to have to cut that part now.
Okay.
One of them was a golf outing, which obviously is very popular with lots of grooms. A lot of them do it. But there's several points I should bring up in regards to the golf outing. Number one, it's a great outing if all of your groomsmen or whoever you're inviting is into golf. Should probably go without saying, but I have heard of weddings where the groom is really into golfing, makes this whole golfing outing, and a lot of the groomsmen just kind of get dragged along and they're not really interested. And the whole point of scheduling events with your party should be to do something that you're all going to enjoy. So the golfing is one. The one other point I should make about golf outings, and this is just a personal preference, obviously everyone does it differently, but I usually prefer to have the golf outing scheduled the day before rather than the morning of the wedding.
If you can.
Yes. Obviously, if people are coming from out of town and they can't make it, obviously the morning of can work as well. I just think that if you're doing the golf outing the morning of your wedding, it makes you a lot more rushed. But it's more of a time and scheduling thing. And plus, I think if you do it the day before, obviously before the rehearsal dinner, it's a good day for the guys to all bond before everyone comes together for the rehearsal dinner. And then the morning of the wedding, you actually can have set aside for just relaxing time. Because obviously, as most guys know, once they hear about the wedding process, guys are usually bored the morning of, because girls have to start doing their makeup at about 7 a.m.
It's true, like even from just like a timeline perspective, like I've actually had a lot of clients where they plan to do that kind of activity the morning of the wedding, and then I'll get a call from the bride like 2 days before and they're like, nah, they scrapped that. They realized they didn't have time to do it. So that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, so golf is obviously a good activity. Another one, which we also incorporated into our wedding, was an actual hot lather shave, which is a nice treat for the guys. This also depends on if your groom is into that type of activity. I, for one, am very into it. I'm kind of old school like that. I actually I have the old-fashioned badger brush and the lather, and I usually do that every day when I shave. Obviously, I didn't shave today because it's a day off of work. But
it's really cute.
It's a nice way for a guy to sort of treat himself, because obviously girls, the wedding is all about treating themselves, manicures, facials, things like that. But a hot lather shave is something that a guy usually doesn't do, and it's really becoming more and more popular nowadays. And you can find it in most major cities and even smaller towns. Probably you might have a barber that is willing to do it. And they're generally not that expensive. On the scale of just shaving, it's kind of expensive. But usually you can find someone. I think our guy was about $20 a person. But it's a nice way to just relax the morning of. It doesn't take that long, so it's not like you're going to be in a big time crunch if you're trying to do it. And then if other guys want to get hair touch-ups when they're there, that also is a possibility. So it just gives the guys a chance to groom themselves and look better. And look better for the day of the wedding, because obviously you're getting a lot of photos taken and you want your groom to look the best that he possibly can.
He looked really good when he got his clean shave on the day of the wedding.
I do recommend that if it's something that your groom would be interested in, a hot lather, clean shave from an old-fashioned barber is definitely a way to go the morning of the wedding. And then you don't have to worry about him missing a certain spot and there being weird stubble in photos and stuff like that.
Aww.
Yeah. So that's another activity for before the wedding. The third part I'd like to mention about that is actually, for most grooms, it comes down to alcohol. Obviously, we all know that grooms and grooms' parties like to drink the morning of a wedding, just the way it is. The one recommendation that I would make for this is assign someone in the groom's party, preferably not the groom himself, because he should be relaxing the day before and the day of the wedding. Maybe a best man or someone like that, and they are in charge of getting the liquor or alcohol. I have seen a couple of weddings where they don't plan this out, and then the morning of the wedding, when all the groomsmen come over and they want to have drinks together, there's no alcohol. So someone has to go out on a beer run or to pick up something, and just sort of delays in the morning. So I always recommend that if you're interested in, getting some scotch or something or beers for all the guys to relax the morning of, do it the day before the rehearsal dinner. That way it's all already taken care of. You wake up the morning of your wedding and you don't have to worry about,
getting drunk
or where your alcohol is coming from, because it's already there and you can just start the day, the way you want to.
But don't drink too much.
No, that's another part of the alcohol. You should obviously have a little to enjoy the day, but don't become a drunk groom, because I don't think your bride is going to be very excited.
We've never had that problem though, no. So I mean that's just.
But we've heard of it, so obviously it's just something to keep in mind. Don't go overboard the morning of.
Good job.
Thanks.
What do you want to talk about, the cigars?
Yes. Oh, that was part 2 of what I wanted to discuss. Is ideas to incorporate your groom into the wedding. But one good idea, and actually truthfully it doesn't even have to be people that are smokers.
Because he's not.
No, because we came up with this idea for our wedding, and I thought it went over really, really well. I thought it was one of the better part of our...
All of our cigars were gone at the end of the night.
So what we did is we did a cigar bar. You can do it on, various scales. Obviously, higher end weddings sometimes even hire cigar rollers, but we weren't interested in that.
Well, I was interested in it, but we just didn't have the money.
Right. So a cigar bar is a really good idea, and like Sam said, I'm not a smoker. I hardly ever smoke, but the idea of cigars at a wedding sounded interesting to me.
Well, because we were kind of doing like an old school theme.
Yes.
Kind of, so we thought maybe we could get some pictures that kind of had that old school feel, people smoking cigars and stuff, like in a bar with scotch.
Yes. So, obviously, you can do this on differing scales. You could do a cigar bar where you have, 4 or 5 different types of cigars. That way people can try different kinds, learn more about, what the differences are between differing brands and styles. The way we did it, because our wedding was rather small and we didn't know how many people would actually be interested in smoking, is we just did one set cigar, which I picked out before the wedding. We actually ended up ordering them online from a site called jrcigars.com.
We'll put the link below.
We'll put the link in. That was actually a recommendation from Sam's uncle, who actually is a avid cigar smoker. So he had that site, and the prices are very reasonable, and they obviously ship out to you, so you don't have to worry. The one drawback to cigars is that unless you have humidors, you have to smoke them almost immediately. Mm-hmm. So what we ended up doing for our wedding is we ordered them about a week before the wedding, and we had them shipped directly to our hotel so that they would arrive the day before the wedding. Actually, maybe it was 2 days before. But you actually have to order those last minute unless someone has a humidor and you can store them.
We didn't have a humidor.
Yeah, so otherwise they'll go bad. But it actually worked really well for our wedding. I think we ordered 20 cigars, and they were actually all gone. We only had 75 people at our wedding.
Total. That included us.
Yeah, so obviously I smoked, but there were other people that I wouldn't even have thought would be interested in smoking a cigar and enjoying that.
Oh, like the bridesmaids were getting into it. We got some really good pictures. It was just a lot of fun. We got really, really good pictures.
Yeah. So that's a very good idea. It also depends a lot on the venue that you're choosing. Our venue had an access almost directly. They had like an outdoor patio where we did our cocktail hour that was off of the reception room. because obviously in most states you have to smoke outside, you can't smoke indoors. So it's if you're interested in doing that, it's also something you should check in with your venue if there's a designated smoking area that's close to your reception.
You don't want to be too far away because logistically that doesn't really work out that well.
No, especially
people are going to miss your reception.
Especially if a lot of people. No, it's okay. Especially if a lot of people are interested in smoking, because photographers are going to need the groom, items such as that, and plus, depending on how big of cigars you get, they usually take it at a minimum 20 to 30 minutes to smoke. I think probably people were smoking outside during our cigar time for probably about 45 minutes. Yeah. So you just want to figure that it's going to take some time away from the reception. But I thought it went really well at our wedding.
It went awesomely well.
So that's
a
one.
Word.
That's awesomely. It might be a word. So that's just one idea. If you guys into that, another idea. Obviously, all weddings have alcohol, but if you're looking to go old school again, you could talk with your venue about possibilities of, for example, a scotch bar. Maybe your groom is really into drinking old-time scotches, and he's really interested in 12 years and 15 years and barrel-aged and all that sort of stuff that women most likely do not know about.
Some women at our wedding drank the scotch.
Some did.
So,
some did.
I mean...
that's just another idea where you could have them set aside a special little scotch bar where people could come up and basically try 3 or 4 or 5 different types of scotch.
Look at this one with his ideas.
I know.
We didn't even talk about this before.
These things just come to me. So that's another idea. That way people, rather than just getting a drink and chatting with people, can actually, sit down, do like a tasting and learn more about something that, for example, the groom is interested in.
Scotch, you could even do beer, though.
You could do beer.
So I mean,
scotch was just one idea, but you could do beer. You could basically set aside, this is a pale ale, this is a pilsner, this is a porter, and you can make up little signs that describe what the differences between each one are. So that way it's informative, but it's also something representing the groom's interests.
So basically we're trying to create like a little man station where you can go get your cigar, you can go get your liquor tasting and be on your way.
Yes, because obviously weddings should reflect both couples, but generally they're a more feminine affair.
They really are.
There's cake, there's champagne. Usually the bride picks the menu for the most part.
You help pick our menu.
I'm just saying some weddings, the bride will generally have more of a say over the menu.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So Josh has a day off, so we're just kind of in like our loungewear, and I'm not even wearing any makeup, so it's very risky for me to be doing this. So I hope you appreciate it. Want to get Betty? Betty just got shaved, so we can show everyone Betty.
She's sleeping, so I don't think she's real excited to
there
be up
she
right now.
is. Hi, Betty. Say hi.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. She's like, God, people. So yeah, Betty just got a haircut, but she can go back to bed now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it, everyone. If you guys have any ideas for like manly type things to incorporate with your wedding, let us know. But yeah, we'll put that cigar link down below in the info box. And then, like I said, this is my husband Josh. He's awesome. He helps a lot when with SH weddings, so he's just as valuable as I am. So that's it, right?
I think that might be it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Enjoy your President's Day, everyone. If you do have it off.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.